My favorite two on the top left, I don't know if you could see it from your sitting, but Think and Grow Rich and Psycho Cybernetics.
Never read that. I'm gonna check that
Oh
out.
my God. Think and Grow Rich was written by Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill's by far one of my favorite authors. I'm reading another book of his right now. It's called Outwitting the Devil. I think you would like it just from some of our early conversation. And Psycho Cybernetics takes a complete different way of like breaking ourselves down, our mindset down into like literally how we're built. And then with that level of granular knowledge, you could just tweak a few things, and I've done it, and I've been able to become much more successful just by focusing, adjusting your focus a little bit. Crazy. And when did you start reading?
So, funny story. I started reading. So I went through a time in my life where it was like a little rough, essentially. So about 7 years ago, I had like severe OCD, severe anxiety. I was like locked in my house, no joke, for like a year about. And most people, when I feel like things like that happen, they start blaming that on everything to not do anything. And they start, oh, this is the reason why I can't do specific things. But I took a different route, and I was like, what could I do to essentially get better, or to see some progress. And I remember I was just on the internet, just like constantly looking things up. And then what actually came up was self-development. And I'm like, what is this? Because of course, anytime you go through anything like that, they're always like, oh, this medication works great. And I'm like, nah, that's not the route I'm trying to take. I'm not trying to just get a quick fix, because I know, from experience that quick fixes, that they never last,
Never.
So I was looking it up, and I found self-development. So I started getting into it. And then I came across this guy. I don't know if you've heard of him, Andy Frisella.
Yep.
So he has the Real AF podcast. That guy is he's the reason for a lot of the things that I do. And I came across his podcast, and then I came across 75 Hard, and I actually did 75 Hard, I think 3 times.
Nice.
And when I came across it, he was talking about, these books that he was reading, and I'm like watching him, like, I haven't read in years. I was terrible in high school, so to me, this is not going to work. But I was like, let me just try it out. And then I think the first book that I read in like this whole learning thing was, I think it was Relentless by Tim Grover.
Nice.
Which is honestly one of the best books I still think to date for anybody, because that book literally shows you things that people are like, I don't know, like they're like afraid of, what I'm trying to say? Like they're like, oh, like that's not legit. And it's like, yeah, it is. Like that's how to do it, but a lot of people aren't taught that way.
Exactly.
So I read that book, and then after reading that, I think I read Gary John Bishop. You ever hear Gary John Bishop?
No.
So Gary John Bishop wrote a book called Unfuck Yourself. That's
I heard
really
about
the name
that
of the book.
Okay,
that book is fantastic as well. And after reading those two, I started reading the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, which is a great book. I read a book called Breathe, which is really good. That book really shows you like how important breathing is, and breathing through your nose and all this stuff. So that started off a whole thing for me, because now these books were guiding me to a path of legitimate like recovery, from this thing I was dealing with.
Yep.
And those books, each book, I could take a, when you read a book, I feel like you don't take that whole book. You take a specific section of it, and you're like, this is the section that I felt the most, So that's what I did when I was reading these books. I would take this section, and I'm like, okay, this is what I remember from this book, and this is what helped me in this time, and from just reading. And obviously, another thing that I learned was, you could read as many books as you want, but you really got to do the work that these books, because they'll give you a guide, but it's still up to you no matter what.
Without a doubt. Knowledge is empowered. You have to apply that knowledge. And I've dealt with all of that. The same, like the story you went through is like a similar story that I had, which is, it's incredible because, everything that you mapped out just throughout, your history, why you started reading, and how you became an effective reader by pulling out that information is a similar journey that I have had as well. There's a lot of similarities. But before that, with that being said, you heard a lot about my boy Don Buster really quick in that intro. But welcome back to the Positivity Chef podcast. As you could see, this is going to be an absolute amazing episode. I don't even want to keep it off. I don't want to steer off topic again. I want to get right back into that conversation we were having.
Oh,
so, just like you were saying, like even relating bring it back to myself. I really resonate with how you said back in high school, you were bad in high school. Maybe you didn't care. Like me, I went to Tottenville. I would always cut class. I wasn't the kid to smoke. Like all my friends would smoke.
No, yeah, me neither. Yeah.
I just didn't like to.
Yeah.
But I would cut class with them. Then I'd go to class, pass my test, get like a 75, 80 average, whatever. But, you know, after I graduated and I went into college, I started to like change my priorities, and that's when I finally started to read as well. It was, you know, not really from, you know, a traumatic event like you had, which was an amazing way that you chose the positive route to fix 100%. Yourself through knowledge. But for me, it was more along the lines of like, I have a goal in life. I see these people that are CEOs. I see people that are business owners that are just successful, that have everything they want. And since I was a little kid, like I wanted to make money.
Oh, 100%. Same here.
Always been a hustler. Always
1,000%.
I was in freaking 7th grade taking a pack of gum, selling dollar pieces.
Yeah, man. That's that's that. I mean, listen, that's what starts it all. You know, that exactly what you just said. So when I this is my thing. People take the hard times and they use it as an excuse to not do certain things.
The victim mindset.
The victim mindset is what it kills everybody. And I see it on a day. Why don't you go to the gym? Oh, I got a bad leg. And, you know.
Oh, no, I'm busy. I'm busy.
Yeah. I wish I could get to the gym. Why can't 30 minutes.
What time did you wake up?
10 minutes, exactly.
Oh, I woke up at 9.
Yeah.
Wake up at 8. I can't wake up at 8.
Dude, honestly, I'll tell you this, which is funny. When I did 75 hard, I work. So we have the shop on Highland Boulevard, which is where we do Never Ride Stock. We do tints and everything. So we start 9 a.m. every morning, which is a blessing in my opinion. That's a blessing time. You know, when I was doing 75 hard, I was waking up at 6 a.m. doing the first workout, then going straight to work, then leaving work, going back to the gym
for the second workout,
and then reading. Like, and it was like, oh, you don't have a life. I'm like,
I do have a life.
That is my life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, the thing is, because everyone's mindset's the same, because everybody just follows what they know.
Exactly.
Nobody wants to take that path that's why they call it the 1% path, because it really is the 1% path. You talk to any, you read books. What are you, a loser? I'm a loser, but you could go out, spend $700 at a nightclub
when you don't even have it.
You don't even have $700 in the first place, and I'm the loser. Really,
it's crazy.
So, you know, and I'm not trying to say that, you know, people that go out but listen, everybody
I hear you.
Has their things that they enjoy. I get that, but at the end of the day, what my goal is. Going out doesn't involve it.
It's different.
It doesn't involve.
You're not aligned.
You know?
So and you just broke it down perfectly. So think about this. Is how I think about things. I have a goal that I'm striving for. I literally carry around my goal card.
That's awesome.
You know, I have a goal that I'm striving for. I remind myself about that on a daily basis. And in order to actually achieve that goal and make it a goal, not a wish or a dream, by actually decomposing that and building an objective and looking at it like I'm a guy in the military. Like, okay, this is the objective. That's the mission plan. I gotta get there, and I'm not going to give up until I get there, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to succeed. Now let's break that down into, you know, individual daily habits. So on a daily basis, okay, if I want to be a multimillionaire CEO, someone who's financially free, money is not a thing to worry about. I have businesses and I am the boss. If that's the person I'm striving for, okay, great. What does that person do? Well, that person definitely just doesn't go partying every single day, spending all their money, you know, trying to chase sex and just doing and trying to show off where the gold chains. No, that person is fucking brilliant. They've read every book known to man. They know how to invest. They've emulated the successful people throughout history. So what the fuck am I going to do?
And that's the thing, you know, that's what, and this is something that I feel a lot of people need to hear. And this is just the truth. What you see on the internet is not real. In my opinion, social media is cancer. It's cancerous, because what happens is you got these young guys. This is straight from Andy Frisella, what I'm about to say. You got these young entrepreneurs that are on social media consistently, and they're looking at kids their age or guys their age, and they're like, oh man, I wish I could be like that. I wish I could do that. And that kills some people. But what they don't understand is that may not be reality. You know what I'm saying? What you see is not what really is going on most of the time. You know what I'm saying? Guys like Andy Frisella, I don't know if you follow him.
I do.
He does not post on his actual Instagram page because he doesn't want to slow down young entrepreneurs, because he knows what he's got. But what is him flexing going to show? Yeah, it can show people like, oh yeah, this is where you want to be. But not everybody's like that. A lot of people will be like, oh, this guy, he's got it different. You know, he's built different. He's lucky.
Victim mindset.
Yeah, so it's right back to the victim mindset.
Exactly.
You know, and what you said before about the habits is, you know, the reason why a lot of people don't succeed at what they're trying to do is because they make these tremendous changes so fast, when in reality, not a lot of people could do that. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I feel the little habits, the little things you do, you know, as simple as, you know, making your bed in the morning, or, you know, making yourself breakfast, or making sure you read 2 pages every day. That is what makes the big picture. You know what I mean? That's the, like, I always say big picture. Is this going to affect my big picture? If so, you know, or if I'm worrying about something, that's another thing. Big picture. Is this really the big picture? You know, so that's how I look. You know, I dealt with a lot of doubt because the path that I took, a lot of people doubt it because you live in New York. What's New York? Get a city job, you know, retire, this, that. That's everybody. You get a pen. That's everybody's thing. And that's great for some people that don't want to follow a specific path. But in my eyes, I wanted something more.
It's not for you.
It's not for me. I wanted something where, you know, I'm on my own terms. I'm doing something that I walk into work and I love every single day.
Exactly.
You know, a lot of people can't say I love my job. They really can't. You know, I love it. Of course, there's days I'm like, oh man, I got to go to work today. But at the end of the day, when I get there, I'm giving it 100% every single day.
100%.
You know, there's no if, and, or buts. And that's the thing. If you could do something, you got to do it 100%.
Just don't do it at all.
Yeah, I took where I'm at now. I started off as just a prepper for window tint. I was prepping windows, and that was it. I was making, you know, a base thing, you know, whatever it was, and my attitude was horrible. I was like, you know, this is temporary. I'm not doing this for the rest of my blah, blah, blah. This is whatever. There's something bigger out there for me. But not knowing what it is, just saying it. You know, that's what a lot of people do. They just say, yeah, there's something else. So I went from that to, you know, 3 years later becoming, you know, a manager. I run the shop. And that's a huge thing because I shifted my mindset from, oh, you know, it is what it is. I'm just going to, you know, breeze by this. I can't wait to go home to, let me take this seriously and give it 100% and act like I actually own this place. Exactly. And it got me to a position that is, you know, a dream. I would never think at this age that I would be, you know, running a business with. And
it all started from a mindset change, right?
100%.
So it went from a lack of goal or a lack of purpose, right? And you were just, you know, floating around with the wind, like think of a plastic bag, literally just getting blown around by circumstance. Yeah. And then you said, no, fuck that. I'm actually going to, you know, strive for a particular goal. Yeah. I'm going to start operating like I own this place because one day if I can own this place, that's a dream come true. Exactly. And then what has happened since?
Yep. And that's the thing. It's one of those things where I did it. There was no luck. There was no, I did this.
There's no
you know
such
what I'm
thing
saying?
as luck.
I did everything that I said. And every time I post like a post, like whether it's for my birthday or something, I literally will say like, you know, people are like, oh, you know, I'm so lucky. I'm so this. I always say, I did this. I made this happen.
There's no such thing as luck. I hate when people resort to luck. They just can't explain, you know, the details of why something happened.
Exactly.
Right? Anything that occurs, in my opinion, can be proven.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
So you can break down anybody's success, anybody's, you know, unfortunate events. If somebody's homeless or if somebody, you could break all of that down into something and prove why it happened. So it's not just like one day you wake up and the universe was like, it's your day. Let's go. Come on. No, it's not that.
No, it really does take, you know,
hard work, dedication, consistency.
Dude, it's, you know what I mean? Consistency, I feel like, is everything because if you're not consistent, then, you know, what I still do is I like to test things out. So I'll try something, I'll post it up. If it does well. If it doesn't, at least I could say I tried it. You know, there's a lot of people that are like, oh, that failed. You know, he failed at that. I didn't fail. I learned what to do next. You know what I'm saying? So, for example, my Instagram, I was so against doing reels. I was like, it's stupid. You know, I don't believe in that. And then I started posting reels. They started blowing up. And now I'm like, this is the greatest thing I could have ever did. Exactly. But because my mindset was so closed, because I was like, it's just not worth it. You know what I mean? It's so
you were used to and comfortable to the pictures,
to the regular
similar
stuff.
To me, like that's exactly when I could have, you know, had a jump start on Reels when Instagram was pushing them out because they were switching to the video platform like a year or two ago. But I was like, you know what? I'm used to posting these, you know, the pictures. They're doing well, and similar to you, right? So the reason why I switched over is because, you know, they started pulling back on, you know, the reach that they put out for the pictures because they're pushing out that, you know, that new the new Reels. And from my perspective, I was like, you know what? I don't want to be out there. I don't want to be on video. You know, pictures are easier. I could just write what I want to say on the caption. I wasn't comfortable on camera. So I was like, I'm not going to go that route.
Yeah.
But once I switched to that, that's when I started blowing up as well. It's always when you exit your comfort zone.
Oh, of course.
Right? And that's when you cannot grow if you're doing everything you're comfortable doing. Because if you're comfortable, guess what? You're used to it.
You're used to it.
So what growth comes with something that you're already used to doing?
That's the one thing I love, because you got these guys that, you know, they're doing, you know, so everybody wants to be a boss. Everybody wants to be a leader. Everybody wants to be that head guy, but nobody wants to put in that work to be there. You know, they want to just happen.
Because that gets back to what you were saying about social media. They all see the end result.
Yes.
So they want to get from where they're at right now to the end result.
Yes.
And the guys, and a lot of people out there are trying to sell the dream by saying, all you got to do is, you know, invest in my 5K course, or there's 3 steps to $3 million. Like, that's not true.
There's no steps
but
to
you know
success.
what? There's no steps.
There's no steps.
Do you know what that does? It allows those people to sell because they understand the mindset of the people starting out.
Exactly.
So but you have to be smart. You have to be able to think for yourself, and you have to realize that. And this may come through failure. Maybe everybody that's starting out, maybe they all should fall for one of those, you know, schemes, or not even schemes, or one of those, you know, pitches that aren't really true. The 3-step to rich. No, that's not true.
It's not.
But like you were saying earlier, if all of those people actually took the time to go out and try that, fail at it, right? But then instead of quitting after failure, because failure is only ultimate if you actually give up completely and stop.
Yeah.
If they hit that failure, right, and they learn from it, now they know that it's a longer process. So maybe it's good that those people are out there, and these people should have the guts to try, but they should also have the knowledge to understand that the only way to truly succeed in life is by failing, learning, doing it again, then failing and learning and doing it again. It's like you're going up
But that's the thing. Some people are just so afraid of what others have to say about what about failure, about, you know, all these things.
The fear of criticism.
Dude, if I would have did exactly what I was told to do by the people that, and you know, this is the truth. My family, they love me to death. They, you know, it is what it is, but they don't know that path because none of them have lived it yet. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. And that's with most people around me, because every person I know that lives the path that I'm trying, or that I'm going on. Yeah. Dude, they understand me 100%.
Most people don't. They're not going to understand you. Most people don't understand me as well.
And that's okay. I'm okay with that, because it shows that, you know, we are separate from, and what we're trying to do is something different. And people, they're afraid of things that they don't understand. You know, so this is definitely one of them. And what do I mean by afraid of what you know? Oh, what security do you have at what you do for a living? Or, you know, what are you going to do when you're 60? Dude, why am I worrying about when I'm 60? I'm 23 right now.
Exactly.
60 is that at that time, that's a whole different ball game for me. You know,
if you achieved your goal, you're not going to have to worry about the pension plan. You're not going to have. And do you know my rebuttal to that? Do you think a multimillionaire gives a fuck about, you know, getting paid through benefits through their company? No. They're actually providing benefits to their employees. They've not only made thousands of jobs, but now they're giving thousands of people benefits. That's the type of time I'm on.
Yeah.
I'm not the type to, you know, be in that safe route with my hand on the safety net and trying to reach as far as I can get. No. I'm young right now. We're young.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And this is the time to, and you know, Andy Frisella always talks about this, and it's like one of my favorite things he talks about. When I started, you know, doing 75 hard, he really like explains, this is, if you can't do this, and you can't do like the simple things in life, that's how you're going to be in every aspect of your life. You know what I'm saying? So I realized when I did 75 hard, anything else that I did outside of that, I was doing it 100%, because that's what it trains you to do. People think it's like, oh, how was that diet plan you did? It wasn't a diet plan. It was legitimately a mindset. That's all it was. It was
a paradigm shift.
Yeah, that's all it was. And, you know, nobody understood that. You know, why are you reading books? Why are you doing this? And you can't, and this is another thing too, you can't explain something to people that don't understand where you're going, because then they're just going to laugh at it. And that's okay. Over their heads. I'm okay. Dude, I love when people, you know, criticize, they laugh, because they think that hurts me. It doesn't hurt me. It actually makes me more excited to see their faces when things actually work out. And that's what happened. Dude, it's happened already for me. And once you get that and you see that, it's like, this is funny, because now, and another thing is, a lot of people, they'll see you doing well And like me, if I see somebody that's doing better than me, I want to learn. How are you doing better than me? What did you do? I'm not gonna you know, a lot of people are like, screw him. You know, he's this, he's that, he's a loser. He does this and that. That's straight up jealousy.
Yeah.
If you're bashing somebody that's more successful than you, you're jealous. Straight up.
Doubt, yeah.
You're jealous.
Exactly.
Because if there's somebody that's doing the things that you want to do one day, and you have nothing but bad things to say, you're jealous.
It's because they know that they don't have the confidence in themselves to actually achieve that. They don't have the self-determination to, actually go out, work every single day, be consistent, be persistent, and obtain that goal. So now they're just going to try to bring the person that is way above them to their level through, criticizing, through condemning, and just through honestly just bashing and talking shit about.
Because at the end of the day, there's the people that have the most to say are the ones that legitimately have the least to show. That's just the truth. Because, a lot of people have a lot to say about people and but that's just a backup plan because they don't want anybody to focus on them.
Exactly.
When they're consistently pushing things to other people.
Yep.
Take a look in your life. What's going on in your life? Because are you doing what I'm doing? Most likely not. Everybody's like, when I get this, just wait, or this, that's fantastic. I'm not waiting. I'm actually doing what I'm saying. You're talking about, when this happens.
When and if that happens, then I may be able to. It's a whole bunch
When's
of nonsense.
it going to happen? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like you could say when, I'm 23 and I've already, and this is not, like I said, I'm not trying to be cocky, but this is reality.
No, you're confident.
I wanted a Dodge Charger. I had 2 of them already. I wanted that car. That was my dream. I got it. You know what I mean? And did I get it on terms that were like smart? Absolutely not. I was a young kid. I had a nonsense job and I was paying it off. But at the end of the day, I had it and I was happy,
Exactly.
But then I had to look into, and this leads me to thank God for these books, seriously, because these books are no joke the reason that I'm able to go the path I want. Because if I wouldn't have read these books, Rich Dad Poor Dad, if I would not have read that book, I really don't know where I would have been, because that book showed me that, just because you have a Mercedes, a Lamborghini, this, whatever, blah, 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 dude, that really doesn't mean a thing. It really doesn't. Like, cars are great. I love them. I'm a car enthusiast. I love cars. I have, I've had so many cars. It's a passion I have. Are some of these cars the best investments? Absolutely not. They're not. I could be the first one to say that because I'm not a phony. They're not the best investments. Can I afford them comfortably and live a life? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, would me getting a Kia, be a better option or something a little bit, cheaper? Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, how much money I would save? Like, that'd be fantastic. Or not save, sorry. Invest that money that I use, because I'm big into investing in things.
Of course.
And I'm not saying like, a lot of people are like, oh, like, what do you invest in? Stocks, this, that. I invest in myself. I invest in things that are important for me, But the reason that I do the cars is because that's what I love. You know what I'm saying? Yes, it costs a little bit, but I love it.
But you're building that lifestyle up so you can be able to afford the stuff that you love, be able to afford the lifestyle that you want. Listen, I'm on the same boat as you.
Yeah.
I bought my 435 straight out of college.
Yeah.
And I knew I had a job that I was gonna be making great money.
Yep.
And I was like, you know what? The monthly payment for this, I had money saved up. I put it down. I'm like, I could definitely afford that.
Yeah, yeah.
Of course. Was that the best decision? Could I have put the money that I put down in the market, and could I have taken all the monthly, payments I've been putting down, $300, $400 a month for the car for the last 3-4 years? Could I have just put that and invested it? Of course. And that would have been a much better decision.
100%. Yeah.
But now every time that I get into my car, and I push the button to start, and I start driving, I hear the engine, because I love my car.
Yeah.
And that's the car I want. That's the car I manifested. I'll tell you that story in a second.
Yeah.
Every time I do that, I'm like, the grind is fucking worth it.
Yeah, hell yeah.
You know
and
what I mean?
that's the thing. That's that too. Andy Frisella always says it. He's like, if your thing is like, that materialistic things are your goal, that's okay. Because a lot of people don't think that's okay. Because like, you don't need materialistic things to be happy.
That's an excuse.
100%. You don't. Of course, you could be happy without them. But I actually want to own these things one day. I want to say, I have this.
Listen,
I have
if that's
that,
your desire, that's fine. I feel like, and this is the way that I think about things. Everybody has desires in this world. And the first step to achieving, any goal is having a burning desire to want to pursue that, because it's not an easy path, right?
No.
It's going to be very difficult. So you have to have a burning fucking desire saying, I'm going to have that shit.
Yep.
And then every day when you wake up and you don't have it, it motivates you to continue to go. It makes you disciplined to continue to go and get what you're going after.
Yeah.
That could be material things. That could be whatever it is.
Could be whatever whatever it is.
But at the end of the day, you're not going to actually accomplish your goal. Or let's say you're trying to achieve wealth. You're not going to actually achieve that ginormous amount of wealth until you provide value, because value is exchanged for money every single time.
Oh, yeah.
So in order to accomplish, you want the Lamborghini, you want the penthouse, you want the mansion, great. But how are you going to get that? You have to understand that the law of, cause and effect, or the law of exchange, basically says that you need to give in order to get. You need to give value, you get money in return. Mm-hmm. You can get compensated in monetary value, you can get compensated in spiritual value. Whatever you desire, you'll get. So first of all, figure out what you desire. Yeah. Second of all, provide fucking value. You're not going to sit in your ass and start earning millions. And if you did, you were that lottery winner, the 1 in 1 billion of people.
How many go broke within a couple of months?
You took the words out of my fucking mouth.
Dude, it's the same scenario with these kids that I see these people. They're like, oh yeah, he does great for himself. He has this e-commerce business. He has he dropped a song and got. How many of these guys you see going flat broke within a couple of months? How many of you guys you see they get canceled? And because the problem is that another great thing. I keep saying 80%, but dude, it's the truth. You could give anybody. This is, I need everybody to hear this because this is so important. You could give anybody $1 million, anybody, and they will say to you, "Oh, this is the greatest thing ever. I got $1 million. That's it. I'm good." If they don't have the skills and the mindset to attain that million or to make that million grow, they're gonna lose it in months.
Getting a lump sum of money doesn't mean that you're going to now learn how to use it.
Nothing.
You're going to go below it in 2 seconds.
Nothing. It's literally not. Exactly. People say, oh, he had a loan from his father. That's great. He could have took that loan and bought a Lamborghini and then flexed it around like he was the shit, when in reality he just blew all the money. Or he could have took that loan and opened up a huge business and started something great. A lot of people don't understand that. They always say, only if I had this amount of money. If you spent the money that you had when, now that you're claiming, I need this, you're going to spend that just
if you don't know how to manage $1,000, you can't manage $1 million. You can't manage $1 million. Period.
Exactly. Because at the end of the day, it is not, oh my God, this is my favorite saying. It is not about the quote. This is not, it's not about the amount of money you make. It's about the amount of money you could keep. It's about the amount of money you can invest.
That's fact.
That is something a lot of people don't understand. They're like, oh, but I got this, I got that. Fantastic. Why do you have those things? Because you put yourself in that situation. It's on you.
We're all exactly where we want to be.
Yeah.
Consciously or subconsciously.
Everything that you do is on you. Like you caused everything. And that's something that a lot of people don't want to admit, because then they know that they're wrong, and people don't like that feeling. So they'll say, no, it's this person's fault that I'm the way I am. It's this person's fault I'm the way I spend money. I'm sorry, but if you live your life like that, you're going to be a very, very miserable person.
Third time we're going to say it, victim mindset.
Victim mindset.
Instead of
everything.
Internalizing and realizing what you did that was wrong, and then going back, self-reflecting and saying, okay, I got to change this. I have to build a different habit here, and I have to, fix this, right? Instead of going that and doing a self-audit, they're going to say, that fucking guy, he scummed me over, that, that girl, or, is my boss, or they're going to literally blame anybody they can outside so they could avoid feeling that bad feeling within, because failure doesn't feel good. I've been building this brand for quite some time. I'm very successful at work, but I've had so many failures.
Of course,
so
me too.
many mistakes.
Dude.
That makes me feel terrible, but you know what that terrible feeling makes me do? I am never going to feel like this again.
And that's funny you say that. That is how I feel about money. I said this to myself because I was the perfect example for everything we're talking about, and I lived all this stuff. So I'm not saying that I'm perfect, because the reason I am where I am is because I did all this stuff and I experienced it. So, like you said, for me, I had to learn that, I'm at fault. My spending habits were the problem. I would spend money like I had millions, and that's another thing. Expenses don't equal success. Everyone says, oh, dude, he's got this, he's got that, he's got great. Anybody can make $2,000 to $3,000 a week and then blow it that week.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's just what it is. And that's another thing, people always say, oh, I make this much money, blah, blah, blah. This is what, okay, but what are you claiming? Are you claiming that much money? Probably not. You're definitely not claiming that much money. Anybody could walk around, oh, I do this, I make 6 figures, I blah, blah. That's fantastic. Are you claiming that money? Look at these guys that are like these real estate guys. They're claiming that money. That is what they're getting. What they're worth is what they're getting. You know, anybody can be based off a salary, but we all know taxes. We all know, you know, all these things that they take out, which is wrong in my opinion, because I was looking at a friend of mine who's a city worker. I'm looking at his check, and I'm looking at how much he made with overtime and all this stuff. And then I'm looking at what his like what he took home. I'm like, dude, that's disgusting in my opinion. Like, how is that okay? Like, these dudes are killing themselves for a job that's just taking, and like, oh, I'll get it back one day. One day? What, when you're 60?
Where's the plan?
Where's the plan? That's the, you know, everyone, oh, one day I'll get it. Where's the plan?
That's great. I agree. One day you will get it back. Yeah. So tell me how. How are you planning on doing that? What's your 5-year and 10-year goal?
But the thing is,
those are the best questions to ask people, because they don't have that. They're not able to see. You know, they're only able to see, you know, what tomorrow will bring, or what this next weekend will bring. People aren't long-term thinkers.
No, they're not.
And the only way to manifest and create your life, which is a long term, you have to be able to think about the end goal, think 5, 10, 15, 20 years ahead, say, this is where I'm going, that's the direction, I'm striving to go that way, and in order to go that way, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. But they don't look at it like that. No. And for that individual as well, there's ways that they don't have to get completely abused by the taxes as well. You have to become financially literate, and that brings us back to the books, that brings us back to the knowledge, and actually taking action.
But that's the thing, a lot of people, bro, they don't want to do that.
And if you tell them, what do they say? Yeah, okay, bro, or either I'll get to it, so procrastination, or doubt.
Or easier said than done. That's my favorite.
Oh, my God.
That's my easier said. Because the thing is, like I told you before, when we reset, people could go on Instagram for hours. They can go on YouTube for hours, but they legitimately can't take 5 minutes to learn something new. When you stop learning, when you stop growing, you start dying.
It's pure laziness.
You start dying, and that's the truth. Because think about it, you know, and this is Rich Dad Poor Dad, straight from that book. The rat race. Everybody's in the rat race, right? So they go to work, they get their pay, they're good. You know, and then they give them a little bit more, and they keep doing that, and they don't understand, because this is how generations of people survived. They survived this way. And that's why, like we said, the 1% are the ones that only know about this stuff. But people don't want to read about that.
The knowledge is available.
Dude, some of these guys, like Rich Dad Poor Dad, he breaks it down for you as clearly as possible. And people see the book, they're like, oh, this book looks stupid. You know, what is it about? You know, and then, you know, my favorite thing about that book is when I was coming out of high school, what college you going to? You going to college? You going to school? What are you doing with yourself? Dude, I knew I wasn't going to college. I hated school from the jump, and I knew college wasn't for me. And, you know, if you tell people that, you know, nowadays, forget it. You're the devil. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's just how they are.
It's because you're thinking for yourself.
Exactly.
And trust me, the crowd of people, the 98% of people, do you know what they hate? People that can think for themselves.
Of course. And that's what they fear.
Oh, you're not going to college? Because everybody's going to. Why are you going to college? Because I have to go to college.
I have to.
Why are you going to work? Because I have to go to work.
That's the thing.
You're not pursuing anything. You're not actually doing anything for you. You're not living for yourself. You no longer can think for yourself.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. You talked about the devil. They look at you as the devil because I'm not going to college. The true, and you got to read this book. I've been saying it all the time.
Yeah.
Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill.
I'm going to check that out.
The true devil is somebody who controls people's thoughts through fear.
Yeah.
And the people that he's controlling is the crowd, the 98%. He controls those people's thoughts, and therefore their actions, and makes them just be drifters. That's how he refers to it in the book. They're called drifters. And what a drifter is somebody that procrastinates and has no definite aim in life. So you have a definite aim in life. You said, I'm not going to college. Listen, somebody on this side of the spectrum may go to college and be the most successful person. I'm not saying college is make or break. You're either successful or you're not. No. That's not what we're saying.
And I do have something to say about that too.
Your path, where you're going, it may not be a necessary factor. However, the majority of people, the herd, right, the 98% of people that can't think for themselves and need everybody else to think for them, they're going to go to college regardless, even though...
With no goal in mind.
None.
But
they're going to get $100,000 in student debt now.
Yes.
And they're going to keep putting themselves in these positions. And then, and then they're going to be 30 years old one day. But I got this debt, and I got this, and this. And then you're going to say, whose fault is that? Well, you know what I mean? No, I don't fucking know what I mean, because you haven't thought for yourself. You've allowed other people to think for you.
You listen to everybody else
and then you put yourself in this position. So how about now? Stop that. Stop fucking complaining. And now how about you get yourself out of that situation?
And dude,
how?
That's the thing. And this is like I'm so happy. This is so funny because you literally took it out of my head what I was gonna say. But this leads me to this point, which I feel like everybody needs to hear that is just getting out of high school. It's huge because, dude, I'm not against college. I'm really not. What I'm against is people being forced to do something just because parents are legitimately embarrassed of their kids, and they don't want their kids to be talked bad about because they're afraid of what the other parents are going to say. Dude, who gives a fuck what they have to say? Who cares? Who cares? You're worried about what other people have to say about your kids?
For your criticism.
Who cares? At the end of the day, I told my parents, at first, I'm not going to college. My dad was like, great. What are you going to do with yourself then? And he's being a parent. He cares. I get it. This is how he was brought up. This is the way society made him think and everybody else around him. So, of course, I can't get mad because I understand it. But now he literally says to me, like yesterday was my birthday. He literally said to me,
birthday,
thank you. Yeah. He sent me a message. He's like, dude, like, what you did and what you proved is that, you lived on your own terms. You didn't care what anybody had to say. And I didn't, because at the end of the day, I'm not a millionaire. I'm not. But I wake up and I'm excited to do what I do. I'm not miserable. Like, oh, I got to go to this job. I got to work outside in the heat, blah, blah, blah. That's the thing. And I just want to go back to the college thing real quick. I'm not against college. If you have a goal that requires you to go to college, hell yeah, do what you got to do. Exactly. Some people want to be doctors. Some people want to be, lawyers, police officers. I get it. That's great. That's not what I'm saying about college. That's bad. But what I'm trying to say is if you do not know what you want to do and you're just going to college just to go to it.
People are telling you to because society says
dude,
go to college.
I don't care what college you went to. People tell me, oh, I went to this college and I got this degree and I do this and that. And great. What do you do with your life? I work at a furniture store. What? So you just told me a whole spiel about all these things. Everyone has asked me. They're like, "Oh, are you certified in what you do?" Fuck no, I'm not certified, but I'm good at it, and I'll show you I'm good at it. Mm-hmm. You go to any mechanic shop that are great mechanics. Ask them how many of them went to tech school. Probably none, because at the end of the day, what you could learn on your own is what will stay with you. Anybody could write down things. This is why I'm not a fan of school, because I went to school and I didn't learn jack shit. The only thing I learned in school, honest to God, is science. Science is great. I had a great science teacher. I had the same science teacher for 4 years of high school.
Nice.
She was probably, and I'm still in touch with her. She was the only person I learned things from because she wasn't pen and paper. She was, let me show you on this projector and let me actually talk with you guys in a conversation. And that's how you teach people. Yeah. If you just sit there and, just fill this out, do this and that, that ain't a teacher. A teacher is somebody that can legitimately connect with their students, sit back and on
let
her
them
desk,
drive.
Let them talk, then jump in with them and explain to them. And this is another thing. Telling a kid that he's wrong or right, do you know how many times they say, oh, if you don't get good grades, you're never going to make it in life. You know how many times I've heard that? Oh, if you don't go to this college, you're not going to do well in life.
Yeah.
Really?
Way to just continuously remove my self-confidence, eliminate my self-esteem, and literally make me not be able to achieve my goals because now I'm not confident in myself.
Yeah.
I'm been saying this for the fourth time. You got to read this fucking book.
I'm going to read it,
everything that we're talking about. Like you brought up your vision on the school system and its inefficiencies is literally outlined to the T.
Dude,
in that book.
It's
crazy.
They probably say this in the book too. You got a school system that's gonna teach you finances. They're gonna teach you how to be an entrepreneur. Are they entrepreneurs? Are they millionaires? So you're telling me that you're a teacher that's gonna teach me these things, but you're not doing it.
You're gonna teach me how to do something you don't have no idea how to do.
But that's what I'm saying. That's the thing. You're gonna teach me a business class. How many businesses do you have? You have any successful? I'd rather learn something from somebody that has been doing it and is in the game for years than somebody that's certified in something. Certifications mean nothing. I'm sorry. That's just the God honest truth. Anybody could get a certification. It's not about what you do with it. I mean, it's not about getting the certification, it's about what you do with the certification.
Exactly.
The same thing with anything that we do, like me and you, for example. Anybody could buy a gym membership. Doesn't mean they're going to go to the gym. Anybody could be given, like we said before, anybody could be given thousands of dollars. It ain't about getting it. It's about what you could do with it.
I'll give you a perfect example. So I went to college. I went to Binghamton University. I studied accounting because I was just following my brother at that point. And I had no idea where I wanted to go. And I'm happy I went to college because what it did was it taught me how to learn.
Right.
It challenged me. They threw a lot of hard content. I was like, all I need to know, it gave me a goal. get high grades.
Yeah.
Get high grades. So that was my goal. And at that point, I wasn't that great in high school. I didn't have the good grades. I couldn't get into the best college. I had to go to CSI for a year, Staten Island. So I was like, you know what? I need to get good grades. I'm not good getting good grades on these tests right now because it's a hard school, not CSI, Binghamton. So I'm like, you know what? Let me learn how to learn. So I did that. I learned how to learn. I learned how to learn fast. I studied accounting. Why is this resonating to what you were saying? Because now I work in the financial industry. I took one finance class, and I didn't even do that good because I didn't really, resonate with it when I was taking it. It was earlier in my college career. But now I'm in the financial industry. I'm a top 10% performer in any role you fucking put me in for two reasons. One, because I learned how to learn, and two, because I'm ambitious. So it's like, just like what you said, it doesn't matter about the certification. No. I'm not a finance major. Whoa, I'm not a quantitative finance major. Hell no. But there's some people that get that major and then they go fucking to hell, not to hell and back, to the moon and back with that certification, and all for that. But there's a lot of people that took finance, are finance majors, are in the same role as me, and they're the bottom 10% performers. So it's not about the certification. It's about you.
It's on you. Like I said, it's on you. That's the thing. Nobody understands that. You could legitimately go to any school. You could get accepted anywhere. You could be going in any path you want. It does not matter. If you're not giving it 100%, you will fail. And that's the thing that I learned straight up. I learned this. There was a time where I was testing different things. I was like, let me try this. I created a detail kit that basically is it's like a first aid detail kit. So it goes in your car. It's small. And listen, I put it on the shelves of my friends' places. It sold. Did I make millions off it? No. But it was my first actual real entrepreneur experience because I made something that was mine. It was pretty cool. And do I make it now? Not as much as I used to, but there's a reason for that. Because I said to myself, where do I want to be in life? And I said, okay, I want to be involved in this shop that I'm in. I want to eventually either own a piece of this shop or own my own shop one day. Is me making, these kits going to get me closer to that? Probably not. Is it a good little asset to have? 100%. But I have to give what I want 100% of my time. Because if I'm not, and I'm doing this, and I'm doing that, and I'm doing this, and I'm doing that, and this, and that, and this, then I'm not giving it the focus that it needs. So I'm missing specific things about this business that I should be getting, but I'm too worried about, this, that, this, and that, You're
stretching yourself too thin. It's think about you're trying to grow a tree, right? You plant the seed, right? You have to pour water on every single day. And it needs, call it a gallon of water. I'm just random measurements. But if you have 20, 30, 40 different plants, but you still only have that 1 gallon of water, are they all going to grow? Some are going to die. Yeah. Maybe one will stay alive, but it won't be as, it won't thrive as much as if it actually got that full gallon that it needed. Yeah, of course. So think about your mind as that gallon. You're not going to, expand your mind. You're not going to get any more water. You're not going to get any more mental capacity.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But so put it all into one goal and let that flourish.
I like that.
So that's what you're saying. So you could be successful in building those packages and being an entrepreneur.
Oh, 100%.
But is that what you want? No, you said no. So that's it. Boom. You could be successful in anything. Of course. The person who built this table, do you know how skilled they are?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They could literally do this full time. But if that's not their passion and their goal, then don't focus on it. And if it is, then start focusing on it. And 100% needs to go to it. And that's a problem I used to have. So I really resonate with what you just said because, growing up, I didn't necessarily have the shiny bull syndrome, but I've always, I told you I love money. But I love money to a point that sometimes the devil could trick me with greed. It could trick me with being a little avaricious. Of course. So it's like, we'll dangle something in my head and I'll go to snatch it. I'll miss and I'm like, fuck, now I'm here. And I'm like, I'm here again. So now that's why I've been, trying to break that habit of, yes, I love money and I'm striving to be extremely wealthy, but I cannot love money to the point where I'm avaricious, I'm greedy, because that's going to throw me into the traps that there's bear traps everywhere. The devil is trying to trick you so that you do not achieve your goal. Because if I actually achieve my goal, which is to inspire millions of people to think for themselves, strive for their goals, understand what their purpose actually is, and achieve that purpose to live a happy and fulfilled life. Yeah. If I fucking accomplish that, the devil's going to be very pissed off because that's exactly what he's trying to make these people avoid. So he's trying to trip me up every single day. And the goal is to identify the traps by first failing and falling for them and now saying, I'll never do that shit again. So learning from him and keep climbing that ladder. And they're always going to miss or wrong. You'll go down and it's you may feel like 2 steps back, 2 steps up, 5 steps back.
That's fine.
But then you gotta keep fucking.
You got
going.
it. But that's the thing. Nobody understands this. Is that setbacks they're gonna happen. You're gonna get set. That's okay though. Like that's a good. It's not a bad thing. Like everybody always says that. Oh, dude. Every hard time I had in my life propelled me to something greater. Yep. It really did. Like I'm not even kidding with you. This is a perfect example. Real quick. When I was first starting out at the shop, I told one of the bosses, I said, listen, I'm still gonna work here, but I'm also gonna go get another job because I want benefits and I want this stuff, but I'm still gonna work here. Mm-hmm. So he said, he was like, okay, and that's what he said. He was like, all right. So now I'm like, okay. And then that night I sat on it and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, dude, what am I doing? I'm thinking in my head, you know how many people I know out there that are like, oh, if I didn't have, this job and I focused on what I really want to do, I would be so much better off with what I want to do. So what the hell? What are you doing? You know what I'm saying? So that was my thing. I said to myself, I'm like, I'm not going to be able to give this place 100% that I want to give. Yep. And I'm worried about this because I'm listening to everybody else around me. So essentially I took that and I said, you know what? Let me just give this 100%. If I wouldn't have did that and I would have been driving a school bus and tinting windows occasionally. Now I'm a manager. I'm running a shop. That's a dream of mine.
And you're gaining the experience that you cannot gain anywhere else. You can't go to school to learn what you're learning.
You can't.
You're managing a shop.
Yeah.
So what's that going to what's the next step? Owning a shop.
Exactly.
And then managing it.
Exactly.
And then hiring a manager to run that shop because you're opening shops 2 and 3.
Yes.
But now you're able to duplicate yourself in each of these managers because you know what it takes. So now you're learning, and you're learning from somebody I was the owner of the shop. Let me teach you how to manage it. Great. Now you're going to be the owner of the shop. You're going to manage it yourself. And then it's like, oh, now it's time to fucking expand.
Yes.
I want these everywhere. Yes. But then you have to have somebody that's responsible for managing them.
And that's
how you teach them.
And that's what's so funny because that's where like the two guys that own it, they're like family to me. They're my family. And one of them right now, that's where he's at. And this is the beauty of it. I understand the process. I understand it. So I'm not bitching and moaning. I'm not crying that,
You're not jealous.
And I used to be like, oh, I do a lot of work here. I should really have a No, I shouldn't, because I haven't earned it yet.
Exactly.
I really haven't. And that's the thing. Haven't earned it yet.
You gotta earn it first. People don't want to go through that process of earning it. They have that large ego that's like, oh, I'm doing this and this without me. None of this would happen.
Nope.
Slow the fuck down.
Everything. Great saying, and it's the truth. Everybody's replaceable.
Everybody's
replaceable. You could be the greatest at what you do. That's fantastic. Everybody is replaceable. Not saying you can't go off and do your own thing and be successful, but you will get replaced.
Exactly.
And that's just how the world works. That's how business works.
Look at Apple.
Look at Apple.
One of the biggest companies in the world. Mm-hmm. Steve Jobs is no longer here. Rest in peace, Steve Jobs. Tim Cook took it over.
It's over. And dude, that's how people, and people don't understand that, because people that have been in business for years, they know what they're doing. So essentially losing a person or one thing, that's not going to destroy them, because clearly they've lost people before. Mm-hmm. So if they've lost, a person or this and that, and this person's like, they're going to fall apart without me. Dude, I'm sorry. No, they're not. Because if they've been doing it this long for this many years, they know exactly what they're doing, and they're prepared for what's to come.
It may cause a little, rift. It may cause some waves in the ocean. But is it going to cause the boat to tip over? No. Hell no. The boat will not tip over. What they're going to do is, they'll try to find somebody that has your skill set. Maybe they're not as good as you because they don't have as much experience. Yes. But they'll train. And eventually, just like when you joined that company and became who you were, somebody else will join, and it's a long-term fucking game.
This is the thing, though. A lot of people want, like for me, for example, I know my ability. I know what I'm capable of. And I do understand that, I'm great at what I do. And my goal is to make it so that they could rely on me no matter what. You ever hear that you got to be a soldier? You got to be a soldier first. Everybody 100%. Wants to be a leader, but nobody wants to be a soldier.
Exactly.
You got to be a soldier. You got to learn the ins and outs. Nobody, like Andy Frisella, perfect example, started off in a supplement shop about this big. He didn't make good sales. I could be wrong, but he didn't make real money until 10 years of owning this little shop.
Yeah, I remember. He was sleeping on his pictures on his Instagram, sleeping in the shop, not even being able to afford.
And that's the thing. Like, nobody wants to go through that. But what they don't understand is that instant gratification is just, it's not reality. Delayed gratification really is everything. Like, it really, nobody gets that. Like, for example, my all the cars that I've had, it's all because of delayed gratification.
Everything is delayed gratification.
It is, and if you get it now, then you'll lose it. You're gonna lose it quicker, and that's the thing. Like I said earlier, these young kids, they see these guys on social media. Oh, I got this, I got that. Oh man, I want to be like that. But what they don't understand is, give them a year, give them 2 years. You're going to see them fall off. It happens even to famous people, bro.
Exactly.
It happens.
It happens to everybody. Why do you think all these people get famous and they resort to drugs and all these Disney stars and everything? Because they got it too quick and they didn't know how to handle it. But back to what you were saying about delayed gratification.
Yeah.
This is something that I like to think about it. When you think about the laws of nature, think about the world. Everything takes time. Everything has its course. It's perfect. Everything is perfect timing. I always refer back to planting something and seeing it grow. So if I plant an acorn, right, I know an oak tree is gonna come. Yeah. Am I gonna fucking sit next to that oak tree and in 5 minutes? What the fuck? I just poured water on it. Put some fertilizer on it. Take all these Miracle Grow and stare at it. Yeah. No, you're gonna plant it. You're gonna water it every single day. You're gonna maintain it. You're gonna maintain it. You're gonna do research on how to make sure you know how to grow an oak tree the proper way. And in 5 years, 10 years, you're gonna see it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be your height.
That's awesome.
10 years. The next thing you know, way after you're gone, there's gonna be an oak tree.
I actually really like that's awesome.
Over,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's awesome.
And
that's a really good one. Yeah.
You have to think about it like that. And that's the world. That's the earth. That's the universe.
Dude,
when you think
awesome.
about the laws of nature.
Yeah.
Apply the exact laws and procedures that the world uses, that the universe uses.
That is awesome. I really like that. What's so funny about that? That's legitimately with everything. These kids, they don't understand. Like, the one thing I wish I would have did when I was younger is I wish that, and it's nobody's fault, but I wish that I would have known about investing at the age of 16. Dude, because if I would have started then, like these young kids, if you have a job and you're 16 years old or younger, like around that age, like 16, 17, I'm actually begging you, please take what you make and not all of it, but just put it into some Roth IRA. Just put it into something that's gonna grow. Yeah. Because by time you're our age, or whatever,
5-10 years
later, that span from that 5. You could get you're gonna be somewhere, like right now. Like I started investing recently.
Yeah.
So yeah, of course it's gonna hit in time, and yeah, I could lose it. But if I would have started sooner and not spent my money on dumb stuff like jewelry or all this nonsense, clothes or going out, trying to fake a lifestyle. And I did this when I was like 17, 16.
I did the same thing.
Yeah, everybody does. But if I would have not did that and I would have took the path of, I don't care what these people think about me or what they have to say, and I would have put the money into something that would have grew, by now, I would have been in a pretty good spot. You would have been
ready to, deploy money
more
in more, but more. Like you would be ready to deploy it on a real estate or even building your own shop right now. Compound interest would have grown it.
Yeah.
But who are we gonna fucking blame for not knowing that shit?
Yeah.
The fucking school system. And I excuse my language, but listen,
you're right.
Think about this. If I didn't fucking learn about triangles and the Pythagorean theorem fucking 8 times in 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, and then back again in high school, like, why are you repeating that? I haven't used it. Maybe if I was going to be an architect, I was saying in a video that I posted today, maybe if architects or your specific walks of life need specific information.
Yeah.
But I don't need all that general education bullshit.
Yes.
Let me understand. How about instead of fucking just thinking about how much nonsense information to give to me and then teach me social studies in every single fucking grade until I'm graduating high school. Instead of doing that, how about you build a system that is crafted scientifically to ask the questions necessary so you can gauge who the kid is and what they love to do, and teach them to pursue what they love, teach them to understand what their passion is. And then once you understand that, right, then you give them you basically craft a specific program for that individual. But maybe you could group some together and stuff like that. And there's some, financial literacy. You know what I mean? Eating right, health.
So important.
Your mindset.
Nobody gets that, bro.
They don't teach it, but you know what they're trying to do? It's and I don't mean to be this guy that, pivots down this path and start talking about conspiracies, but listen, at the end of the day, and John D. Rockefeller said this, he doesn't want a nation of thinkers, he wants a nation of workers.
Yeah.
Because if you're the top 5 people and you own all the conglomerates and own all the businesses in the world, if everybody was a leader and a thinker like we're supposed to be,
there would be
you're not going to have the workers to run your business.
Exactly. And that's what nobody understands. And that's the thing. The reason why they don't teach us this in school is because the people that are teaching it don't know about it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Literally.
Like, and that's not a bash to teachers. Listen, I've had my girlfriend. She's gonna be a teacher, which I listen. She loves kids and she loves to be around kids. That's great. Like I said, there's
her
teachers.
purpose is to be a teacher.
Yes, and for me, my biggest thing is, I've had teachers in school that have taught me legitimate lessons outside of the school
because they love to
because
teach.
they love it. I had a teacher in I want to say maybe 7th grade, bro. She I can't even explain. She put the fear of drugs, of smoking, of alcohol into our eyes at that age. And dude, I'm basically I don't smoke. I used to vape. I used to do
Same.
I don't do any of that shit anymore. And honestly, she would tell us stories about her husband dying in his bed from smoking, and that scared the shit out of us.
Exactly.
That's a teacher, because that's a real life event that happened that affected her life, and that she doesn't want that to happen to us because she already learned.
And she cares.
Most
of these teachers out there are literally just doing it for a paycheck. And they don't listen. A lot of people are designed to be teachers. I think that I am designed to be a teacher. I always love sitting down, educating. And my goal is to go into schools and speak on exactly what we're talking about today, to do exactly and have the exact same experience that you had with that one teacher.
Yeah.
But I want to do it at the mass scale so we could really influence the next generation. Because what is the world? The world is what the next generation is going to make of it. But with that being said, we're about to wrap up. Any last words you want to leave for the audience?
The only thing that I want to say to everybody is it's just simple as this. It's on you. It really is on you. Everything that you do is on you. The reason that you're in debt, the reason that you're struggling, it's on you. A lot of people are not going to want to hear this, but guys, I was in this position. It's on you. So you could tell me, you could tell him, you could tell everybody that you know all these excuses. At the end of the day, it's only affecting you. So take that little bit of advice. It's the simplest thing on the planet. It's on you.
Everything is simple. It's not easy. The path is not easy.
No, it's not.
It's simple, though. It's not that complicated. You don't have to think about, you know what I mean? Oh, in order to get my goal, I have to do this, that. No. It's very simple. Set a goal, break it down, do the fucking steps.
Yep.
And hold yourself accountable and stop fucking making excuses.
Stop making excuses, and you have to understand something. Everybody has went through something. That's not an excuse. It's on you.
That's it.
Hands down.
With that being said, this was a great fucking episode.
Absolutely.
Leave a comment what you thought, and we'll talk to you next week.